So we're with Gent here. And so you own multiple businesses. You help people with brand design, help people grow on IG. And right now you're the owner of, a software design and urban clothing line, right? So you have multiple businesses,
Yes.
working on multiple projects. Now, to give us some context here, how did you get into branding and entrepreneurship?
Well, when I first wanted to start an entrepreneurship, I wanted to get into sales, so I was back in high school and I had a friend there when we bought stuff and then we sold them to other people. So that kind of got me the feeling of getting into entrepreneurship. So I wanted to do something like that again. And then after some years of reunition with that friend, I said, let's start and let's do some business, right? We buy stuff and then we sell something like this, but then he took it to the next level. So he said, let's go and do web design, web development for people. We can do this and that. And then multiple businesses started at once. So I got into Instagram that time. We opened up a page where we shared facts and quotes on Instagram. And I was the one managing that page. And him and another friend of mine, they created a and but I kept that for quite a long, and then you know how the world is today. They Instagram algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, they actually know about your hobbies and everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then business stuff started to show up on my Instagram and my YouTube and everything. So there was one particular page with business infographics who were like big trend at that time, started to show posts on my Explore page and recommend it. So I started following that page and I became a huge fan of it. So basically they uploaded e-commerce tips, books for entrepreneurs, how to get into digital marketing, things like that, just general entrepreneurship. And I got into that and I became a huge fan of that page, just like a follower.
Yeah.
One time they uploaded an employment story in their Instagram saying that we're looking for an experienced English writer and an SEO master because they had a blog. And I applied there, but I failed because I had a lot of grammar mistakes in my letter. And since they were looking for an English writer, that kind of made me lose it. So after some months later, they brought that same email again, and I said, but this time they did not specify any position. They just said, we're hiring, so just drop your resume and show us what you can do and how we can work together. And then I went and said, I don't know if you remember me, but I applied once here and then I failed. I don't know the reason why, but I have my own thoughts. And ever since that time, I try to improve myself, and I really want to work with your page because I might be one of the biggest fans on it, because that page was like everyday content that I consumed, and I was like reading a book. So it was really worth it. I said, I really want to work something. I have this Instagram page. Can you just take a look and see if I can help something? And then I got the reply after some days, and that they said, yes, we do remember you, and we didn't get you because you had grammar mistakes on email. So I was right. And then they said, we like the design that you have on your page, so can you come and work as a content creator on us? That's how it started. He was my first ever client, and he actually turned out to be my mentor after that.
Oh, wow.
He got me through the progress and said, this is how you do content creation. He showed me the application called Canva because that was one of the best to make those types of posts. And he showed me, this is how you choose fonts, this is how you upload a picture, how you write and things. He taught me how to do them. And I worked free for the first day. I was doing 3 or 4 infographics a day. I started to get better, of course. And then I said, I want to do this with money, if that's possible. And then he said, that's all good by me. So that's how it started. The first client turned out to be my first mentor after all. We talked often via Skype or via email. You should do this. I suggest you to learn Photoshop. Take a look at these pages. Look how good they do the content. And that's how it went. That's my first content creation. And ever since then, I just loved doing that. I try to get as better as possible every day. I'm still doing that same thing today.
Yeah,
of course, not with that client. We worked for 8 months or 9 months, and then we separated.
Yeah. First and foremost,
So
I was gonna say it's cool that you got into sales first, or you kind of got into business through sales, right, with a partner. And not many people, not many entrepreneurs start with entrepreneurship with a partner. They start by themselves, and that can be very tough. Some people say if you find a partner, you get more motivated, and if you have different
yeah,
skill sets in a business, then you're gonna be more productive, right? And you can give each other more motivation.
to be
Now,
honest, to me it was the whole opposite.
oh yeah, you always had in what sense?
Yeah, it was. Well, as I said in the beginning, I wanted to start as something not so big, not
Yeah.
so venture as a business, because I was in high school, I wasn't that experienced. Take it to the next level, as I said, web development, branding, graphic design, logo creation, everything. So that was kind of hard for me to manage to get to that level immediately. Years ago, when I had no experience, no nothing. So doing this that I did today with the difficulties that it has today was something really, really hard for a high school kid, a 17-year-old guy 2 years ago. And my friends couldn't understand that. So we had our conflicts or things, and then we separated after a while. He went on his own journey and I went into mine.
Wait, but just to provide
So now
context,
I'm
where are you
just by
based off right
myself.
now? Where are you based off right now?
I'm based in Pristina, Kosovo, in the Southeast Europe. That's where I am.
Is there a huge entrepreneurship community in
No,
your area? No?
no, no. It's harder than some people might think here. It's not just about the cultural things, but we're the second youngest country in the world, and
Uh,
we're partially recognized. So it's hard as a brand creator, as a content creator here, to even get access on the stock photo images because they don't recognize your country. You can't buy their subscriptions. You cannot buy typefaces because they don't recognize your country. You can't buy domains, things like that. It's really hard.
so that's one
But
of the biggest
we have a
challenges.
lot of immigrants living. Yeah, those are the biggest challenges. I was lucky to have some family members living outside the country, like in Switzerland, and I used their connections for the purchases and things here for the payments because we don't even have PayPal here. We don't have, as I said, subscriptions to Pro Images and everything. So I have to use their address in Switzerland to get the access to things.
Oh man, so it's an extra process, an extra step,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's cool that even though it's harder for you to get into entrepreneurship and have access to these tools, you don't say that you quit, and maybe people in your area, people in the same sort of circumstance, they tend to quit because, there's so many barriers to entry, right? And so that makes you more unique as an
There would
entrepreneur.
be the reason. I wanted to quit many times because of this, because it's really a pain in the head. I faced that today, actually. I was making a post for myself, and I looked for one image in particular. And I spent more than 1 hour looking for a good picture for my post, and I just couldn't get because the resources that I already have are like a cliche or over now because I used a lot of images from those. I'm talking about the stock image thing
Yeah.
since I'm a designer, and I wanted to buy the subscription for the new one. A lot of amazing photos. The price and everything was okay, but you just can't because you live here. Then you gotta go through that. Of how should I do this? Look at them outside; they can do this so much easier, and I'm here stuck. You feel like you're in a communist country sometimes, right here.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, man, I was born in the United States. My parents are from Colombia, but sometimes we take this for granted because we have all these resources at our fingertips, right? And you look at other countries that aren't so entrepreneurial or don't have those exact
That's right.
resources, and it's a lot harder. And
Yep.
we take things for granted here. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of people here in the United States think that we're the only entrepreneurs on this planet. But in reality, there's so
Uh,
many people who have so many cool ideas, so many
Here's the
bright
thing.
ideas somewhere else.
Yeah, here's the thing. The developed countries like USA, Japan, Germany, UK, they have one of the most, some of the most successful entrepreneurs. I mean, you guys started the entrepreneurship. I mean, the brand creator, the carousels and things, they all come from USA, Australia, you know, developed countries like these. But the biggest numbers of people hustling every day and trying to become entrepreneurs is from the third world countries or second world, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
belong in a third world country, and you can see how many entrepreneurs are, for example, from Pakistan or from India. Much more than they are in USA, I think. But in USA, they are fewer, but that they achieved higher successes. I mean, you guys lead, but then we come after you. So the numbers are bigger in the third world countries, but the ones in your countries, like you lead the niche and everything as a general entrepreneurship. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand because I think to some sense, I'm not going to say US is they set the trend and then others kind of follow. I guess a lot of developed countries set trends and then everyone else sort of follows and there's a
Yeah,
cascading effect.
not USA, not just Germany, not just UK. All the developed countries, in a way, someone could be the best in e-commerce, and then some others can be best in forex. For example, England is like one of the best for forex trading, and then USA for real estate, Germany for some sales, agricultural things like these. So I'm not just talking about the digital marketing
Yeah.
and digital entrepreneurship. I'm talking as business in general. The big countries like playing different leagues, different professionalism, and then we like to follow behind. And some make it, some don't, because in some countries the resources can be a problem. For example, in mine, and in some countries the monetary funds can be a problem. For example, in poor countries, it's not as easy as to buy a Photoshop subscription for $30 a month as it is for someone in USA. You know,
Yeah.
so a lot of people struggle every day and they don't even have a laptop, and then they ask me how to create via mobile. How can you do this for free? I cannot buy the subscription for images. I cannot buy the professional Photoshop or professional Canva. So I only have a phone and I have limited funds. So it's kind of hard, and I feel them actually, because that's what I go through every day. Even that I'm really happy with what I've achieved so far. I'm still going through these every day.
So when you work on your businesses, such as software designs and urban clothing line, who's your audience? Do you sell within your country, within Europe,
Uh,
or all over the world to really monetize your
I have to
platforms?
make something clear before we talk about these two. Urban Clothing Line is not actually an official business. It's an upcoming project that is going to be based as an e-commerce business. So we're
Okay.
still not working with that, but we have plans to continue further. And our audience is going to be global. So we're going to aim
Okay.
every country in the world doing drop shipping and e-commerce. That's going to be the goal. It's just an upcoming project that has been there for quite a long time, because I wanted to build an Instagram page and then sell via the audience. But that Instagram page failed. So then the Urban Clothing Line got stuck there as a side project for a longer time. So it got
Okay.
postponed. Uh, and Software Designs is a page that I own from May 2019, where I used to be there by myself and offer content creation to big pages on Instagram. When I say big pages, I mean the pages about general entrepreneurship, like the one when I first worked with. I would make infographics for those kind of pages, and I would reach out via cold DMs, cold direct messages. And of course, I would not get much results from that, because I understand big pages, when they get messages like these, tons of them, they kind of consider you to be like a scam or something amateur and not really someone they want to do business with. So that's just like a content creation agency, while Urban Clothing Line, as I said, is an upcoming project. So my audience on these two, on Urban Clothing Line, is going to be global, and on the Software Designs, it's global. It's always been that way ever since I started that. So I kind of just, as I said, approached clients, but I did not get that best results. Whatever clients that I had, they all approached me, not that I went to them and had
Yeah.
success.
Okay.
I own a personal brand to do the same. I work as a content creator mostly, so I serve pages on social media creating their content visually. So whatever type of pages there are today, I'm not just targeting the ones in general entrepreneurship. I work for Wall Grooming, for example. They have everything about hairstyles and grooming, and I work with a pets company, with a wellness sports one, and I work with a real estate company. So I'm not necessarily just targeting these now. I'm doing what I should have done with software designs, but in personal branding, it has gone a lot better. The trust is better and the page has gone a lot better because I haven't used any inorganic type of growth for my Instagram page. So I try to keep it as organic as possible. So the page is not at the best, but it was really great before, and I had better faith with clients in this part.
Wait, let me ask you this. So you're saying that instead of creating an entire, say, brand or marketing agency, you started with your own personal brand because people get to know you better, they trust you more if there's an actual face in the business,
Yes,
and through there you're getting business.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had hopes that I would work as a company, as a business owner of an online business.
Yeah.
That later on could be developed, expanded, and come also locally and all that, the big ambitions when you start first. So I kept that page for quite a long. So from May 2019 to probably November 2020, something like that. And I still have it sometimes, but most of my work is directed here. So then I just, at that time, November 2019, somewhere 1 year ago now, the personal branding carousel creators started to show up at that time, okay, in a big boom. So we got Dane Walker, Christos Nikas, Michael Janda, Chris Do, guys like these. So some of them were earlier, but the carousel started to get into the trend at that time. And that's when I actually started to do my carousel. Tomorrow actually is going to be my 1 year anniversary since my first carousel. So tomorrow I made my first carousel, tomorrow 1 year. And now I'm still doing 365 days straight, so every day. And that's when I started doing carousels. I tried to do them on software designs, but they did not work that well because I had used engagement groups before on this page. And when I said the personal branding guy started to show up, they were preaching that you should not use the DM groups because they damage your page and everything. And that was being true. So I quit using those, and then the organic reach was just dead. So I just said, why not give it a fresh start? I'm going to try with a personal brand. And I was quite afraid and not so confident in the beginning, from the thinking about what can people say, what can family, friends say. And also what I said is that I'm just going to start. I'm not going to tell anyone. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to do something, and I'm not going to tell anyone. Whenever I reach some big milestones, then people can find out by themselves, and then I can tell them, yeah, this is what I've been doing. So now they can't say anything bad, right? No one's going to say, wow, you got to 10,000 followers. Why are you doing this, or stop doing this? So they would say that when you have like 20 or 30 followers. It's normal. It happens everywhere. So in order to avoid that, because I was kind of afraid to show like my face there behind a color bind and black and white, like showing banners and all, it was kind of hard, but I managed to do that, and getting developed time by time, period after period, finding connections, meeting new people, improving both mentally and with profession, and also with software and tools, got me to where I am today.
Well, let's talk about that because, even to be honest, man, I don't have a personal brand, and that's because I feel insecure about showing what I'm doing besides doing this podcast, right? Because I'm working on this brand and I don't show my personal brand yet, not at the moment. And, I think a lot of people along the same boat can feel insecure about whatever it is. And, how do you take those small steps to feel more comfortable about posting content about yourself and almost every day being consistent and not caring or becoming numb to the fact of creating a personal brand? Because of course people can judge you, but you have to have a thick skin.
Yeah. As I said on the beginning, let's go to the culture of my own country where I live right now.
Okay.
So, as I said, entrepreneurship is not as wide here. So people here and the education level, of course, is not that good, because if it was, things would be different. And in a bad way, I don't like it, but the reality is like this. We care more about the showbiz than we actually care about the real news and politics and educative stuff. So if I would start as a newbie and tell people that, look what I'm doing, can you show us some support and all, I know that that wouldn't be guaranteed, because only some family members could say, good job for you, keep going and things like that. But the friends and the real dudes, they would say, they would make fun of you because, come on, you got 30 followers, you're from Kosovo, from a country that basically half of the world doesn't even know what it is. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to do for, like, who's gonna care? Look at you, you have 30 followers. Wow, you made 300 after 1 month. It's nonsense. You should not do it and stuff. So I've been through these even before the personal branding, when I wasn't even showing my face. I had a couple of pages before coming to my personal brand. So just a logo and something like that, no identity, no nothing, and still people would poke me on that, saying that you're just wasting your time doing stupid things like that. You're not worth it. Stick to school or quit it or things like that. So even before doing a personal brand, I had this kind of judgment. So I thought to myself, if I show my face, I'm just gonna be tortured even more, and it's gonna be horrible. So I don't want to face that because I am more of an introvert than an extrovert in myself. So you change, of course, by time, but at the beginning, I was that type of person, and I didn't want it to face these types of judgments by people. So I said I really want to do it, but if I go like this, I don't want the judgment. So let's just not tell anyone, okay? Maybe I will go slower because I had some support from fans and family before, but that wasn't something really big. So I would not have this support this time because I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my parents or anyone except my girlfriend. She was the only one to know. And I kept it like that for quite a long time. Then when I crossed 1,000, 2,000 followers, I started to get stronger in branding. People started to notice me because my Instagram handle starts the same as with my personal Instagram. So if someone would search me on my personal, they would find me here too. And then they would come here and say, you've been working. I see you got stronger. So when you have more followers, people tend to judge you less. It's not a good reality, but that's the truth. People judge by numbers everywhere on Instagram. So when they see you have a lot of followers, like, wow, you worked, you look better and everything now. So you have no idea. I mean, I know for sure that some people would judge me, and now they respect what I've done and everything. And it's kind of weird, but that's the truth. So the only way to overcome is that I used was just not to tell anyone. I kept it hidden. I walked around having my pride and things like that without telling anyone. So as I said, the only person that knew that was my girl. So she was the only one to know. She's not into entrepreneurship. She's a lot more educated by schools and everything, university, more dedicated there than I am. I'm not saying I'm a bad student, but I'm like top best. She's like the one and only. So, so she supported me in her way, and she's always been by my side. She was the first one to know. Then I told my sister slowly, and then my two best friends. So like that. Then my parents and everything. So I know the row is not good, but it's just the way I felt to tell people. Because it was something really hard until now. Now that I grow, I tell people with pride, like, look what I did. I have some followers on Instagram. I got big lines, and I tell it with pride because it's like I feel like I've built something, and it's great. So the people feel it too when you explain it to them in this way. So if someone would be afraid, I would just say that if you're afraid from the judgments of people, you got two options. Either don't worry about it at all, just go on, or the second one, just don't tell them, okay? Don't tell anyone. Keep it for yourself until you become big, It's a saying that says, let them know you're losing, but in reality, you're actually winning. Or don't tell them your plans, show them your results, things like that. So same, these are in implementation here. I tried to do these. I didn't tell anyone, nothing, and then they just started to notice by themselves, or then I would tell them.
Yeah, I actually do agree with that concept because, people on the flip side of things, it can be, it's better to, some people might say it's better to tell people what you're doing because that gives you more affirmation and more confidence and making it more real, whatever you're building, right? But I feel that if you fail or you quit, people can judge you. And if you don't have thick skin for that, then that can, that can hurt you, right? Whereas if you work by yourself, if you're totally, self-isolated and no one knows what you're doing and you fail, only you can really distinguish your failures. No one can put any pressure on you.
That's
So it's
right.
all about perspective.
It
But
all depends on the surrounding.
no, yeah, of course. And I was gonna say, for anyone listening across the globe, I think it's important to hear what you kind of just said, because if you live in a less developed country, that shows that someone else, coming from your background, your circumstance, anyone can grow, build a business, build a personal brand. Because I like to watch electronic videos as well, and there's this guy by the name of Carl Bujeha, and I think he lives in Cyprus, right? And no one really knows about it. It's not, no disrespect, but I'm not saying Cyprus is a huge country, but his YouTube videos are amazing. He's built a personal brand, and what you're doing too shows that if you put in enough time and effort, it does not mean that because you come from a less developed country, you cannot build something. There's always opportunity. Yes, there's going to be more barriers to entry. There's no doubt about that. There's going to be more barriers to entry. But I think with the internet, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection, a laptop.
If you have Wi-Fi, that's enough. I didn't have a laptop when I started. I didn't mention that. I started with my phone. Yeah.
Smartphone? What type of phone?
Well, I had a nice phone. It was a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus.
Okay.
That was like really good at that time, but it's just far away from the computer. It's like you have much more opportunities in the laptop. And
yeah, true.
I started working with my phone, and I would create content on my way to school, because I started in high school, as I said. Now I'm in a second year college, so like 2 years after. And I started in last year in high school. I would wake up early and, create content on my way to school. I would create content for that client on my way to the school bus. And then I would post on Instagram before I entered the school, because we had to leave our phones and not have them until the end of the day, because that was the rule of the school, the policy. And before that, I had to finish everything, created content, read a little bit, work out a little bit, all in the morning. I would wake up really early and then go to school, because the schedule of my school was like almost all day long, from like 7:30 in the morning until like 4 when I got back in home, 4 p.m. And at that time I was in a German course, so that German course lasted like 3 hours long. So then I would finish everything at about 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. So from 7:30 to 9 p.m. The only time that I had was when I waked up at 6 a.m. in the morning. I would wake up at that time. I would do a little short workout on my apps, because that's all I could do. I would read for about 30 minutes some entrepreneurship books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or The Intelligent Investor, The Richest Man in Babylon, these types of books, the iconic entrepreneurship books. And then whatever time that I would have left, 40 minutes or 50 minutes, half an hour, I would try to create infographics via my phone. So something that I would create for 2 minutes in my laptop would take me 20 minutes on my phone. That's the difference. So I had to do this, and then on my way to school, when would be the time, 7:45, 7:40, I don't remember exactly, but something like that. I would drop my phone and I would go full of energy in school. I read in that morning, I worked out my abs, I created content, I woke up clearly, and I would be a lot more energetic than the classmates coming. They would come in first class and they would just fall asleep because they just woke up. I was just trying to say the difference, that's what I had to do. I had my phone. I couldn't get the laptop with me in my school and then work on there. So I started with that, and by expanding, getting more clients, making some money on extra, I would say, well, buy a laptop, a computer, actually not so good one. I'm trying to change it now. I've been keeping it for more than a year now. So I bought it from the phone, and now everything is different. I work from there only.
Yeah, I think you got to really make most of what you have right now, your resources, and then reinvest that money, whatever you're making, or you save up money to reinvest in your business and yourself. And you did that through your laptop, so you can work more effectively and more efficiently.
I was literally not getting any profit, because I would work for really less money, and I still had to save. For example, for a simple one-slide infographic, I would charge $1. Okay, so then there were clients who worked like 30 the whole month. So I would work a whole month for $30. Okay, so I would say like maybe this client was like 3 or 4 a day, because I hope they would post like 3 or 4 times a day. Those were the principles of Instagram. So I said, well, if a client wants 3 a day, and then for a whole month, that means like 90, okay? And then the other one wants 4 a day. So then I combine 2 to 3 clients, I get $200 to $300 a month, you know? That would be enough for you, because here the average pay is like $400, something like that is the average. So if I would be with 200 in high school, that would be more than enough for me.
Yeah.
And keeping that on the side, not having a PayPal, that would be a huge problem, because I had to be concentrated only on clients in Europe because I had no PayPal. And the ones that were in Europe had to bank transfer them to me. So the ones that I have first had, that guy that I first started working, he was from the Netherlands. He didn't like had a price about an infographic. He just said like complete them 2 or 3 per day for a whole month, and then I'll judge you by what you did. So I'm just gonna give a price approximately. I'm gonna pay you. So he paid me around $150 to $200 mostly. When these would turn into euros and come into a bank transfer, the bank would like get almost half of it. It would be too much. So then I would receive only about $100 out of 200. So I had to, from these, I had to keep some of those for myself, and then the rest to save up for the computer and all.
Yeah.
And that was like, I had to work a lot like that. So it could be 5 or 6 months, I think, to actually buy a cheap ass computer, not a good one.
Damn, that just goes to show that, you know, at least
Yeah.
for the people in developed countries, like we have it easy, and it can be a shame for us to be too lazy. Whereas, you know, people in less developed countries, they have to put in that much more effort to not get a larger piece of the pie that they actually deserve, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, again, let's talk about tactics. You know, how do you grow your personal brand? How do you help other brands create content to get more exposure, and as a result, just get more audience, more likes, more comments, more engagement, and stuff alike?
Well, as I mentioned before, I had a couple of pages before actually having this one. So I tried to work on software design, creating carousels and graphic design related content. Didn't go that well. I had an infographic business page for myself, and then the facts and codes. So in each page, when I would open the next one, I would try to avoid the mistakes that I made on the last ones to make it better here. So each page that came was better than the last one. Now here's the ultimate one. I'm here best than I was in any other page. So all the mistakes that I made before, I didn't make here. So at my first page, I bought followers and I bought likes, okay? A complete terrifying mistake. At the second one, I used engagement groups, and I used account managers from Fiverr to get organic reach. And that would destroy my page too. After a while, most of the pages would quit, and then I would have just ghost followers, just numbers and not engagement. And then here on the third one, I would create content and share it with the wrong people. So when I came here, I said, not gonna buy DM group, I'm not gonna use DM groups, I'm not gonna buy followers, I'm not gonna buy likes, and I'm not gonna create content for the wrong people. So in base of those mistakes, those are like the pillars of my Instagram brand. I try to avoid those in order to grow to where I am today. So I said, let's just try how it goes without using DM groups. I'm just gonna post and I'm gonna leave it there. Whatever happens, let it happen. So I would go through comments of people in this niche, from the big guys of this niche at that time, who are now more than 100,000 followers, but then they had like 20 or 30,000, because I can say I belong to the second generation of carousel creators. Because when these guys came the first, they're now like on top, and we're like almost there. So, and the second generation, and then a lot of others came after. It's like now almost every business uses these, like a new trend. And I would go to the biggest guys and surf on their comment sections. So whenever someone would ask them a question, for example, what font did you use at the slide 8? If I knew it, I would answer it. So I would be the first one to answer. They would say thank you for your comment before the big creator would answer. And then that guy that I gave the answer to would come to my page, see what's up, and drop a follow. You know, that was my first way. And I would connect with people. I sent them voice messages and texts saying thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope my content will bring you value. in the future together. We can stay connected like that, just create a stronger bond between. And it's basically like that. When you first started, you gotta show people that someone new is here, okay? As much as you can. So drop the best content that you can, design it as better as possible, and then talk to people on their comment section, turn on the notifications when the big creators post. So then you'd be the first one to valuably and genuinely comment on them. Not just go, I just open my page, check it out here, drop a follower, like, some of the creators just delete those comments because we just consider it as non-professional and scamming. So instead of doing that, doesn't matter what number of followers you have, you should go and drop some wisdom there, drop some value on that comment as much as you can. Drop an honest opinion about that post, or criticizing, whatever, just something that really shows your professional side of yours and your wisdom towards that topic. And that's how I would do it. Then with time, the followers will start getting by yourself, the shares and the saves, the explore page, that's all. That's how it starts. It's just about creating a presence.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just commenting, providing as much value as possible. And I think that way, if you apply it now, it's going to take a long time maybe to get a following. But I think over time, if you're very consistent, you would grow a base. Yeah. And I think, like you said, if you send a voice message, which is entirely unique, provide as much value, answer these questions from the comments, you not only create, not only do you get more followers, but you create a stronger community within your personal brand or business that you're working on.
Yeah, that's something I learned about this community in particular. I'm talking about the brand designers, the web developers that were using their own image as a personal branding. These dudes were a lot more connected to people than the big pages who were trendy at that time would do. The entrepreneurship pages that I mentioned before, these were like the biggest trend at that time, just posting quotes about millionaires and the tips to make money and all of that. They would start, of course, in the developed countries like you. So the best were like in Germany, in UK, Estonia, USA, Canada, great countries like these. And then we would follow next, trying to do the same. But these pages actually lost their power at that time because now the carousel started to come up and the personal branding guys. So someone with 30,000 followers and a personal brand was actually a lot better on Instagram than a page with 200,000 followers sharing business codes and things like that. And the reason is because the personal branding guys, I'm not mentioning any niche. I'm talking about the brand designers, content creators, web developers. These guys would connect more to the people, saying thank you for the follow, let me know where you're from or what you do for a living, talk more with people, share more unique content coming out from their side, their experience, their knowledge, while the entrepreneurship and big pages were like reposting the old content from someone else. So like they became a big cliche, and that's why this type of niche, this type of a whole different field on Instagram started to blow up and give a huge results from the beginning. So really anyone trying to come into the carousel community with personal branding is having an amazing success. You have no idea. They get into way too fast because we all know each other. We might be thousands of guys, but we all know each other,
Yeah.
Whoever creates content, whoever uses the yellow color, who uses the purple color, who uses the green color. So we know them by colors, we know them by comments because we all engage with each other, we know each other. So whenever someone new would come and I like it, I would share it on my story. Check out this guy because he is really great. And then all the other ones that know and see my story, they would go there and actually see it. While if I would do the same thing on an entrepreneurship page, the result would be 0 out of 0. No one would actually do it. No CTAs, no nothing successful. It's just that when people get to know who you actually are, your face, your opinions, your message, your vision, everything, those that you share on your page, the trust is like 10 times bigger than it would be on a big page. So this would show that numbers are not always important on Instagram. I was a lot better here with like 4,000 followers or 3,000 followers than I was in a page before that I grew until 12,000 followers.
Yeah.
Insights here, 3,000 were a lot better.
and some people say that if you compare one Instagram page that has 100,000 followers to another one that has 10,000 followers, and you throw an ad or a sponsor to sell a product or service, one may assume that the page with the 100,000 followers is going to get a lot more sales, right? But the thing is that if your page has 10K followers, has a lot more engagement, you have a stronger community, an actual stronger fan base, then
That's right.
that ad that you put out there is probably going to make more of a conversion compared to the one that's 100K followers. So in
That's right.
reality, numbers don't really count. It's really about
Yeah,
the quality of those followers
man.
and fans that you have.
The reason why those big pages failed is that their content, their whole vision became a cliche. Okay, uh, none of them. I mean, only some rare pages, because they were hundreds or maybe even thousands of those, big, small, medium. Uh, Rare from these would actually create some new content and bring it out. Whenever someone would do it, the other one would just recreate it and post it on his own page. So the followers that actually follow that page, they follow the other one as well. So, every content that would come out of them, some were even worse. I mean, they just screenshot it from another page and then post it on their own. I mean, how are you trying to build a brand like that? You don't even post your own things. How can people know that you actually know about this stuff that you're posting? You show no signs that you have any idea about what you're posting. You're getting things about e-commerce and real estate at the same time, because you screenshot from a page from a professional that actually knows what he's talking about. You brought them here and you're just posting. So this gives people an idea to just start thinking, saying like, well, what the hell is this guy doing? Does he have any idea about what he is posting? Or like, no. But and in the other case, when they see your personal brand now, they see that you share your own personal thoughts. You share your own tips, your personal experiences, your failures before, and they say this guy is the real deal. He knows what he's talking about. He's not just getting what the big page is posting, bringing it here, hoping that it's gonna give him success because it had success on the big page. That's not. He's just doing it by himself. He doesn't care. I'm gonna drop him a follow like that. It's just, if you look at some of my posts, they can have 400 to 500 comments, while a big page with 200,000 followers could have like 75 comments.
Yeah.
And those, half of them would be scams, like the Bitcoin guys who would say, I was miserable and then I found this Bitcoin trader who like made me $10,000 a week. Now my life is happy. These guys, the big scammers, they became a huge threat to the entrepreneurship pages because they became a target about these things. They would go there, and then the guys who wouldn't know anything about these things because they just repost content, they screenshot, they don't know anything, they don't know about Instagram growth, and they don't know about the entrepreneurship and all, would just go on their comments and scam stupid things like, drop me a follow, like my content, I offer this, I do that, and then not have any results at all. So now these pages are like, I don't know, they have the chance so that somebody starts, create something new and maybe get millions of followers, because there are some pages that cross 500,000 followers, 2 million or 1 million, because they bring the new content, and whoever brings unique content in a way that no one else can replicate is just a wealth. It's a wealth. You have no idea. And I learned this thing on the carousel community, because when I started, I tried to do the same as the old pages, because I came from a page like that. I had an entrepreneurship page before. I grew it to 12,000 followers, but then I sold it because it was grown with DM groups. And at that time, the carousel creators that just started to come up, please do not do this. I found that it was wrong. I had to sell it. It was crap. So I had the same philosophy: get content from another page, remake it in my own style, and post it here. I tried to do the same with carousel creators, and it went so bad, because here the most creators would be graphic designers, and graphic designers are artists who actually protect their work. So they would be really pissed off if you actually try to remake their own content and show it as it's yours, Their value, their own thoughts, show it as yours. They would find you out, no matter how big they were and no matter how small you were. They would hit you and say, why are you stealing my content? Or can you at least give credits that you got the idea from me? Or can you just not post it, or I'm going to report you? And they did not even have to worry about this stuff, because the community themselves would tell them, I have a lot of people like this in my community, in the carousel community, who would say, look at this guy. He's getting your content and posting it, pretending that it's his. Same way happened when I started, because the carousel creators, the big guys now, had created that type of connection, that
Wait,
type of community.
I'm kind of confused when you say the carousel community and the carousel content. I know what it is exactly, but you know, does the Instagram algorithm know that if you have a carousel post compared to one static image, that you're going to get more exposure, you know, that your post is going to be shown to more people, and that's why it's really strong to have
Yeah,
carousels.
the reason is on the structure of the post. See, when you post a single one, people can just take a screenshot and save it on their phones. But when you post a carousel with 10 single images and you have value like 3 or 4 slides, they're not just going to go screenshot 4 slides every single day. They're going to click that save button, okay? And the longer people stay, because obviously it takes a longer time to read a carousel than it takes a single slide, the longer they stay, it's better for the algorithm, because their interest as an Instagram is that people stay longer on that platform. And that can be done by carousels. People spend a longer time reading them, and then when they save them, the more saves you get from a post, you're going to get to the explore page easier, because the saved post head to the explore page. And on single posts, people will screenshot them. I know, because when these work, my phone was full of images with these. I would screenshot anyone that I like and save it on my phone. While a carousel, you cannot do it, because you cannot, you're not going to go and screenshot 10 single slides every single day, because carousel creators post every day. You're not going to do that. You will click the save button, and then that saves is going to give a benefit to the carousel creator sending his post to the explore page. And that's why they are a big success at the moment.
Okay. And is it fair to say that carousels right now is still, it's not obsolete at all. It's still very, very strong, and everyone should kind of use it.
Yeah, everyone is using it. People call it the engagement king now. It started with the graphic designers. They were the first to do it. It was Michael Janda. I don't know if you know him, but he started first doing the carousels. Then were the marketing guys. And with time, the entrepreneurship pages that are now still on top of the league is because they chose to innovate. They started using carousels too, some of them, not all. Real estate firms started to use them, gaming firms, many types of businesses use them.
Okay.
You know, I just said some time before that I work for a grooming firm and they doing carousels too. I'm doing carousels for them. So they have a grooming product. They want to show it in 10 different slides, how to use it. Step 1, this. Step 2, a different slide. Step 3, a different slide. Then the last step, that last slide would be a CTA, like, did you know how to use this, or order it now, and things like that, you know?
Okay.
Everyone is using it, and I think everyone should use it. But, however, when the Reels came out on Instagram, the general niche, the general reach of carousel started to drop a little bit. Some accounts were actually affected really much, including me. My engagement rate dropped like from 8% to less than 2%, but now it's going up these days because I've been a lot better. It's because the Reels are something completely different with carousels, and some creators that were doing carousels started doing those, and Instagram was pushing these more into the explore page and into people's hands. They wanted more people to be using those. And the reach has been dropped drastically. Some accounts managed to still rock at that time, during this time, while some others had some few little drops, and then some others had, how can I say, consecutively, starting with levels, a few drops, and then going down and down. That's how it started to me. I lost the follower growth. I would get 400 to 500 followers a day. And then when this thing hit, I would need maybe 8 days to reach 1,000 followers, a complete difference. While I would need 2 days, like before the Reels came out. And then the average likes were still the same. That was great. That was making me happy. But then the likes also started to drop, like from an average to 1,200 likes to 400 likes. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask, do you in your content, do you use Instagram Reels for your personal brand?
No, because they're not available in my country.
What?
They're not available in a lot of countries, but I'm probably gonna be the last one as of creator to get them available from all the other ones. I'm gonna be the very last one because every update on Instagram comes the last in my country. We don't even have that sticker that came out on stories, support small businesses. We don't have that here, not yet. And you know when that came out? That came out somewhere around March or May. Now imagine how long it's gonna take the reels to come here. I'm probably gonna be like in 2022 or 2021 late. I'm just gonna be the last of the creators to get them.
What about TikTok? Do you use TikTok at all?
No, I
No?
don't use that. I don't prefer it. I mean, I don't like showing myself in camera too much. That's
Okay.
why I also do rarely do some lives on Instagram sometimes. And whenever I do them, I just like freak out before I start. I'm just not that good on camera. I mean,
I feel you, man.
it took me enough strength and self-confidence to actually show my face as an image. And let's not talk about the video because it is something that I really don't enjoy doing. It's something really hard.
I mean, I respect that because, you know, I think there's a lot of ways to post content to expose your personal brand, and you don't always have to make a video. You don't have to make a YouTube channel. You don't have to make TikTok. You can just do, say, a podcast with just audio. You know, you can just have static images of yourself, write a blog, and you got to find what you're comfortable with, I think, at the end of the day.
The thing is, when the carousels started as a trend, they are still like, from a trend, they became to a whole new field, something really necessary. And in this field, a new trends started to show up, new mindsets of people. So recently, besides the reels, people are considering doing a lot more Instagram lives, okay? Going live. Is that they found some ways, some accounts were lucky to be a small account and actually get a huge account to come alive with you and like get 200 people, 100 people looking at you at the same time, and then some of these people would convert into followers. So some people were found some really good results of growth from this one, and then a lot started to use them. A lot started to came out on lives and all. But I was saying all the time that it's not the way to grow doing lives. I mean, because if you do lives and you get followers from that, people are gonna follow you because of the lives. So then if you don't do them all the time, you're gonna have the growth stopping. And some of the accounts that would grow really crazy doing these lives, when they stop doing them or they started doing them less frequently, their growth like dropped really bad. Like they would get hundreds of followers a day to now starting even losing followers. That was because of that. So I said all the time, if you can focus on one thing, I focused as a carousel creator. So people know me, I create carousels. I sometimes mix up with a single slide post, but most of the times I do carousels. They also, the single ones have less engagement than carousels because people are used to see carousels from me. I started and I wanted to make a success and a name out of carousels. So I did this from the very beginning, and whoever follows me because of these carousels. That's why they keep coming, because I keep doing them. If I would do lives as a side and get a lot of followers, then when I would come to carousels, not get that many followers, that would not be the way to go. You either have to choose both as the same side. So one live, one carousel, one live, one carousel. Not 10 carousels, one live, or 20 carousels, one live. You know, you gotta have an equal balance, or you're gonna have just one, just lives or just carousels. You need to choose one, and I chose carousels. I rarely do live sometimes, but I just do them like a cool way to interact with people and show my audience more in camera, because I'm trying to get the fear out of, you know.
Yeah.
I still have the fear of camera showing as a video, but.
Well, you do know that, you know, when I when I make these podcasts, I do make clips of it, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, of course you don't have to tag it on your story, but I mean, it's good to share your value.
It's good now. I mean, I'm getting offers for like, I held a webinar and I had to be live, and it was really, really scary in the beginning. Before I started it, like I had a pain in my stomach, but when I started it, I got free, and I'm just getting over this fear every day. You understand? Because I still have it sometimes, but I have it just like before I start doing it. After I start, it's all okay. So
yeah. But do you think the reason why you feel a lot more comfortable is because, you know, if you talk about something that you're skillful at, that you have experience, it's a lot easier to talk about it, right?
Yes.
But if you have no experience and you want to do public speaking and you speak on something that you don't really know about,
Hmm.
right? Then it's going to be a lot
Yeah.
tougher. It's going to be a scarier experience. And
Yeah,
say like
that's
you're an
one of the
introvert.
reasons.
Yeah, because I'm an introvert too. But when I talk about business, when I talk about football, I'm very passionate about it, and I turn into an extrovert. So that might be
That's
the
right.
same thing for
That's
you.
right.
If you talk about
Yeah.
branding, business,
Yeah. Yeah.
carousels,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
might feel like an extrovert instead of an introvert.
That's right. So that is one of the reasons. The second one is just by doing it more. You know, the
Yeah,
more you
yeah,
do it, the free you become doing it. So it was hard for me in the beginning. Some people would ask me for interviews, and some would ask me for podcasts like this, and I would refuse because I was scared. But by doing it, okay, why not say yes to this one? I tried it once, a couple of times, 2 to 3 times, and the fear got easier to get away. So, and as you said, when you talk about things that you know, you have it a lot easier to talk because you kept a lot hidden within yourself because you didn't talk to other people. And it's something that you love talking about. You connect with someone like-minded. So these are two of the reasons. So the more you do it, the easier it's gonna get.
yeah, man. Like for me, if I'm at a dinner table and they talk about politics or whatever it is,
Yeah,
I'm just super quiet. But when it comes down to whatever it is I love, you know, I can be talking all the time. You know, it's very different. But
that's
yeah,
right.
you know, I don't want to take too much of your time here. So is there any last words that you want to include, and where can people find you to hit you up and, you know, learn more about your brand, your businesses and projects, and learn about branding in general?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
I recently started LinkedIn, but Instagram is like everything I've done so far. So they can find me there, and every post, everything that I created ever since from day one, my rebranding and everything can be found there.
Awesome. So I'll add that in the show notes. So if anyone wants to click on that, they can DM you, ask you for advice, and obviously check out your content too.
Yes,
So
that's
again,
all.
I really do appreciate your time here. That was awesome.
Thank you. Same here.